Hi everyone, and welcome to Weekly Cooking with Becky. Today we are going to make a chicken enchilada casserole dish. So let's get to it. It's gonna be so good. In our family we do Taco Tuesday, and tonight is Tuesday, so we're doing a twist but still keeping it Mexican. I will say that the recipe I am doing is low carb. If you want to make it keto, I will tell you how at the end. All right, first things first, it tells you in the recipe how to cook your chicken and then cut it into cubes. And then there's me. I went and bought it already cubed up. The Tyson frozen in the freezer section, they have it already cooked and ready. So I came home, measured out 3 cups, stuck it in the microwave and heated it, okay? Always trying to help you get things a little bit easier. Otherwise, you got to cook your chicken before you start. I'm ready to assemble. So 3 minutes in the microwave to reheat the chicken, and it's chicken and it's already cubed. So here we go. To the chicken, we are going to add, we're doing our own seasonings today. We are going to add 1.5 teaspoons of a kosher salt, is what they say. Please remember, if you're following me on my Facebook social media platform, Living Low Carb with Becky, if not, I encourage you to do so. I get into why pink Himalayan sea salt is the best for you. You still get the salty flavor and you get the electrolytes. You don't have it all bleached out. So 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. Next, we are going to add 1.5 teaspoons, get this open, of cumin. If I can open it, there we go. Is it letting me open? All right. So 1.5 teaspoons of that. That'll give it some good flavoring. Remember, you can always add a little more, a little less to your liking. To that, we'll also add in 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. That one I can just eyeball in. I cook all the time with garlic powder. 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. Same thing. It's gonna be good. And then 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, or at least that's how I say it. Okay. What I am going to do, I'm just going to show you my bowls. I'm going to mix this all up. So I've got all of the seasonings in, the salt, the cumin, the garlic powder, the chili powder, and the paprika. I want to make sure I did just do all of those, right? Yes, okay. So just mixing these up, making sure that every last piece of chicken is coated. I mean, you could go and buy a seasoning packet. I have, those of you that have followed me know that I have done that one. I saw this one and went, most of us have these things in our kitchen, so why not? So the next part that we are going to do, back up here. The next part that we're going to do is we're going to stir in 1 cup of shredded Monterey Jack cheese, 1 cup of Monterey Jack cheese, and 10 ounces of enchilada sauce. So it doesn't really matter what brand you use. I just went and this is my first time buying the enchilada sauce and doing a casserole. I found that the La Victoria, when I went to the carbs in the back, only had 3 per serving, and a lot of the other ones had 4 or 5. So I wanted to go with the lowest carbs, and then of course we're not adding sugars. And that's the other thing you need to do, is read the ingredients to make sure that you're not adding a sugar, and the carb count will help you out. So I liked the 3, the 5 I knew had more of a sugar bump. So anyways, 10 ounces of enchilada sauce. I'm gonna measure that one in a liquid measuring cup because I bought a huge thing of enchilada sauce. I'll pour it in. And 1 cup of Monterey Jack is the specific kind they are asking for. Cheese, so I'll show that to you as I get that ready. It's nice to be back. Last week I just simply reshared one I had done before. before. We had company in town, had some big celebrations around here. So I'm ready to try something new. Okay, so that is the mixture for the tortillas. So this is where I'm going to tell you that I am low carb. The preferred low carb wrap for this particular one is La Banderita Carb Counter, just to show you the package. And they're the 8-inch tortillas, and they have 4 grams of net carb per tortilla. I'm doing mine low carb. I want tortillas. So we're gonna do tortillas. If you want to stick with the more keto lifestyle, you can do things like lunch meat and have even more meat. So you could use big pieces of ham that are cut really thin. You could make more veggie, and you could take large pieces of like cabbage or lettuce leaves and use that as a roll. So what's gonna happen, I'm gonna attempt to show it to you in here, and then I'll break away while I assemble them all, is I'm gonna take 1 tortilla of them, and I'm gonna take a 1/2 cup, I've already got it pre-measured, and I'm gonna put it into the tortilla. It's making sure that I've got the meat, the sauce, the cheese, everything in there. I'm gonna put it into the tortilla near the middle, kind of spreading the whole thing out. And then I'm gonna roll it. So let me go ahead and aim that down so you can kind of see. So there is 1/2 cup of mixture. You are gonna get your hands a little bit gross, just letting you guys know that. Make sure it goes into, this is a 9x13 dish, seam side down. So that is 1 done. I'm gonna finish and filling up the casserole dish, and then I'll be back. All right, so the recipe says that it makes 6, but even in our video, it showed 7, and when I did it, it also made 7. At this time, once they're rolled seam side down, you take another 10 ounces, so I would totally recommend buying the bigger jar so you don't have to buy 2 little ones. You simply pour it over the top. Looking good. By the way, this is mild. This is also where you get to have some fun. You can do a mild sauce, a hot sauce. I'll let my husband doctor up his when he's done, but for the rest of us, we'll keep it basic. And then you add another 1.5 cups of cheese. All over the top of that. Meanwhile, the oven has been preheating for 30 minutes. Not 30 minutes, at 350 so that I can cook it for 30 minutes. Sorry guys. It's been a while since I've done a video. I'm out of practice. So I'm just trying to even that out. All right, this is now gonna go in the oven. I wanna show you something that I also did before I go. I went to the store today and bought already sliced peppers. They're called snacking peppers, and they come with all the flavors. All I did was put some parchment paper down, oiled them up, and just put some pepper on the pepper. I know that sounds weird, but black pepper really helps these, so that I have a side dish of vegetables to eat with the Mexican meal, since we all know that beans are a high carb, but peppers work really well with anything Mexican. So let me go ahead and put these into the oven, and then I'll come back and talk to you about nutritional content. Only 30 minutes of cooking time, and I always rotate halfway through, just for even cooking. So yeah, just feel free to think about your recipe, like if you want to roast some peppers, and just have them roasting at the same time. And then everything is all done when you're ready to eat. So that's good. So not really very hard at all. The mixture, once again, was 3 cups of cooked chicken, and you can cook your own, or you can buy it and just reheat it, whichever you want to do. 1.5 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1.5 teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. Stir all that together. Then add in a cup of Monterey Jack that's been shredded, as well as 10 ounces of sauce. Mix it all up. Take out The preferred brand is La Banderita, which is 4 carbs a piece. If your store doesn't have it, I went to a Kroger-based store. I know that somebody said they found them at Walmart too. But Mission makes a carb balanced tortilla. They're slightly higher and slightly thicker. These ones supposedly taste more authentic in an enchilada one. I'm normally the carb balance on Mission kind of girl, I'll totally admit it, but for this particular recipe, they do recommend it if you can find it. If you don't want to be low carb and you want to go keto, whole foods, and you want to take out that carb part, just wrap it either in a big piece of meat or use lettuce and get more veggies in. Okay, wrap them seam side down. Top with another 10 ounces of enchilada sauce and another 1.5 cups of Monterey Jack cheese. Preheated 350 degree oven for 30 minutes and then serve. And top however you want, maybe some shredded lettuce, some sour cream, some salsa, some avocado, whatever you want to put on top. I always say make sure you have your vegetable with your meal. So you saw I just took some sliced peppers and I added a little bit of oil and then I peppered up the peppers, and they are going to roast at the same time, so dinner will be all ready. Calories, 1 enchilada, and that's because we measured out 1/2 cup. So if you make sure that you're measuring it all the same and you're using the La Banderita, if you use a different tortilla or if you decide to use a cabbage roll, then the nutritional account will be slightly different than what I'm telling you, but I stuck to measuring. So measuring it is 333 calories in just one enchilada, just to let you know that. So depending on your daily count, 1 or 2 or 1.5, depending on if you're counting carbs, where you are in your calorie count, wherever you are. Your total carbohydrates are 21. If you are doing net, then it is 8. It is 8 because the fiber is 13. And to find net carbs, you take your total carbs, you subtract your fiber, and on sweets, you subtract sugar, alcohols, but we do not have that. So we're just subtracting the fiber, which leaves us with 8 net carbs, which is great. 35 grams of protein, 18 grams of fat. So enchiladas are baking with a side of some peppers, a great vegetable, and I will be back when we plate it up. All right, there's been an oops in the middle of my video, and we already ate because I thought it recorded wonderfully, and then I went back to double check it before posting it and realized that it chopped off the last part of the video. So here's the deal. The enchiladas come out long. I would suggest cutting them in half and taking 2 halves so they look like the square, and then putting your vegetables on the side. I showed them, but you guys don't get to see it. So we still have half our dinner left, so I'm really excited that I can at least show you what they look like. So these are what the enchiladas look like right out of the pan. They are absolutely delicious, guys. They are so good. So everybody had 1 full enchilada and a side of peppers, and we are all eating them for lunch tomorrow. I apologize that you didn't get to see the plate up version, but we can all tell you that they are absolutely wonderful, and I still say go make yourself some enchiladas. All right, have a good night. Bye.